cell phones on vibrate. Also, no heckling the comedians. It will distract them. We're going to have fun tonight. You guys, your first comic coming up tonight. He is visiting us all the way from Atlanta. You guys, keep it going for Abdul-Aziz Muhammad.
How y'all doing? That's good. My name is Abdul-Aziz Muhammad. I am Muslim, Black, and Dominican. I'm what people thought Obama was in 2008. I always forget I'm Dominican, though. I always forget I'm Dominican, probably because the last time I went, I didn't really have a good experience. The last time I went to Dominican Republic was the summer of 2009. I was about 7 years old. And whenever I first got there, we got to the city called Santo Domingo. And halfway through the trip, we went to the village that my mom grew up in. And the village was about a 2-hour drive. And as soon as the drive started, my stomach started to hurt. So my stomach started to hurt, and before I knew it, I had diarrhea in my pants. Like halfway through the trip, I had diarrhea in my pants. I thought it was a fart, but there was diarrhea in my pants. I was in disbelief. I didn't believe it, so I had to check for myself. So I put my hand in my pants just to see, just to make sure. And to my horror, my hand was drenched. It was a nightmare. And as I pulled my hand out, I looked to my right, and I realized that my cousin was watching the whole thing play out. She was watching all of it, and she looked like she was about to snitch. So like, before she could say anything, I got my dirty hand, I put it to my face, and I was kind of like, shh. I was like, please. But I feel like that made her want to snitch more. So eventually my family knew, and it ruined the trip. And it didn't ruin the trip because my family knew, it ruined the trip because my entire family knew. Like the whole Dominican Republic knew, everyone knew. Every time I met someone new, they all knew me as a kid. Everyone was talking about it for the whole trip. It ruined everything. For most of the trip, people were talking about it. And so one day that summer, Michael Jackson just died out of nowhere, and it took the heat off me. Everyone was talking about Michael Jackson. I don't know, the Dominicans, they really took it to heart when he died. I don't know why. Dominicans are so sad that Michael Jackson died, they legally changed the national dance from the salsa to the moonwalk. They were really sad. The Dominicans were so sad when Michael Jackson died that they started selling his bootleg CDs for a cheaper price. Like, they're really sad when Michael Jackson died. But I'm really grateful because Michael Jackson saved my life in the Dominican Republic. And I'm the only person that can say that. I'm really grateful for that. But speaking of people who changed their race, I saw the Little Mermaid movie recently. And you give it up for Little Mermaid? Anyone for Little Mermaid? I hated the movie though. I hated how they changed Ariel. I hate what they did to Ariel. I hate how they changed her mind, Ariel. They gave her dreads and put her in water. You know how bad water is for dreads? The whole movie was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. But at the same time, though, it was exciting. It was exciting to see young black girls look up to a character that looks like them. And something that was more exciting was seeing grown adults mad online about the mermaid. People mad, adults mad about the mermaid. It made me want to bring back an old beloved cartoon and change their identity. If it were me, I'd bring back the VeggieTales. Instead of them being Christian, they'd be Muslim. The outrage would be far worse than Little Mermaid. Not even because they're Muslim. I'm gonna make sure they're Muslim and black. Just imagine a white Christian family watching what they think is the original VeggieTales, but instead they see these Muslim black vegetables talking about Malcolm X. Like, it would be, that would be peak television. That would be peak television. But watching TV shows and movies with black people is interesting because black people, we don't care about the plot. We just care about rooting for whoever is black. Like, every movie and show I watch, I've always rooted for the black characters. Every movie except Rocky and Ant-Man. All other movies, I've always rooted for the black characters. And it's messed up because I seen Candyman, and I was still rooting for the black character. Like, if people kept summoning me every day just to see what would happen, I would be a little bit upset too. That's where I draw the line. But Muslims, we do the same thing too. There's not a lot of Muslim characters in movies, so I'm always rooting for the Muslim character. Every movie I watch, I'm always rooting for the Muslim character. And that's even more messed up, because I seen American Sniper, and I was rooting for the Muslim characters. I'm playing, in case you're my FBI agent, I'm playing, I'm not a threat. I'm probably the least learning person in here. I drink almond milk and play Lego Star Wars. I'm not threatening, I promise you, I'm not threatening. The worst they can do to you is kill you. In Lego Star Wars, like I'm not threatening. But I like to talk about race a lot, probably because I'm from a racist city. I'm from Milton, Florida, right outside. Milton, Florida. But and one thing about Milton, if y'all don't know, don't go there. Don't go there. Milton, Florida is the only country I've been to where I've seen racist dogs on multiple occasions. The last time I seen a racist dog was a few years back at my buddy Donnie's house. So at Donnie's house, it was me, Donnie, another black guy, and a group of white guys. So as soon as we walked into that house, his dogs just started barking at me and the other black guy. So I was like, yo, Donnie, what's up with your dog? He's like, what do you mean? I was like, your dog, it's clearly racist. And he had the audacity, Donnie had the audacity to look at me dead in the eyes and he said, my dog is not racist. You just had a bad experience with a black person. And now he hates all black people. I'm pretty sure he just described racist. I don't know. But if you think about it, dogs have been racist from the jump. The only job a dog can get is as police. In my opinion, if a dog can work as police, they should also get arrested. And I'm not talking about getting sent to an impound. I'm talking about getting sent to an impound ran by Michael Vick and that one crazy I don't know, I can't stand Northwest Florida, but at the same time, I'm grateful to be here. I'm so grateful to be doing comedy. I've been doing it for like 8 months now, so I'm grateful to still be doing that. And another reason why I'm grateful is because my parents have been supportive of it. My parents have been pretty supportive. However, when I first started, my dad gave me some weird advice. Whenever I first started, my dad, he said, you need to go up there and talk about reparations. My dad doesn't view me as a comedian. Instead, when he sees me, he sees the second Muslim president in training. But I'm not trying to complain, though. I'm not trying to complain. Like, I realize I'm not even allowed to complain to my dad. Like, I realized it the most back in 2020 during COVID. In 2020, I was a senior in high school and a bunch of trips got canceled. And this one I was looking forward to got grad bash, got canceled because of COVID. So I was pretty upset by it. So I told my dad, I was like, Dad, I'm pretty disappointed because they canceled grad bash. My dad looked at me. He looked at me dead in the eyes and he said, my grad bash was Vietnam. My dad went to Vietnam when he was 16. I'm not allowed to complain about anything. My dad went to Vietnam when he was 16. Muhammad Ali was one of the greatest fighters of all time. And even when he was presented with the Vietnam draft, he was like, nah, man, that's not for me. Like, my dad went to Vietnam when he was 16, and it's messed up because he's from Ohio. And I guess his mindset back then was, you know what? Vietnam's probably safer than Ohio. Like, Ohio's a terrible place to live. Ohio's so awful that trains just blow up there for no reason. Like, you'll never trust Ohio. Well, it's gonna be pretty awkward when after the show, like, I realized that half the audience is from Ohio for some reason. If that's the case, then I love Ohio. Ohio, LeBron James. Ohio is the state. It's the state. But I need to think of better jokes other than just ripping Ohio for no reason. But I've had a pretty hard time coming up with new jokes. But fortunately, though, I thought of a solution. From here on out, I'm just gonna steal jokes from white comedians. I'm gonna change the joke to where it's a black story. That way, if the white comedian confronts me for stealing the joke, they'll just sound racist. I call it reparations.